Good morning, everybody. This is Brian from Inorganic Ventures, and on behalf of the Ivy team, I'd like to thank you for joining us. For those attendees in other parts of the world, good afternoon and good evening. The presentation today is going to be focusing on the 30 mil program that Inorganic Ventures is currently rolling out. We hope this will be an interactive presentation, and we look forward to any questions you may have. We understand that most of the attendees are distributors, if not all distributors. So while we're going to speak a little bit about the technical applications of the 30 mil program and kind of how we got to this point, we understand that perhaps some more useful information will be focusing on how you can communicate these details effectively to your customers to try to help you make a sale, what could differentiate our products in the marketplace. And with that, we're going to go ahead and get started. The first slide is just a little bit about myself. I've been with the company for about 6.5 years. I'm not a true chemist. I'm actually a geochemist, and I've been involved with the 30 mil project from the time I've been with Inorganic Ventures. And the kind of foundations of the 30 mil project started many, many years ago, and we'll touch upon those briefly. But joining me today as well is Jeff Idle, our Vice President of International Sales and Business, who is located in our Spain facility. And this presentation is approximately a dozen slides. The slides are mainly going to be focusing on just being placeholders for the discussion. Jeff and I will be speaking about additional information related to the slides, but what we're hoping is that at the end of the presentation, you'll have some great questions, we'll have some feedback, and a little bit back and forth. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the first 4 or 5 slides, and the first question would simply be, how did we get here? As distributors, I think that many of you understand that selling products in small 30 mil bottles is not an initiative that was developed originally by Inorganic Ventures. We have a number of competitors in the marketplace who already offer 30 mil bottles, and the primary reason why 30 mil or small bottle sizes are offered as products is primarily related to hazardous shipping. Like many of our competitors, most of our products are offered in dilute acid matrices, and while the products themselves are extremely safe to work with, the dilute acid matrix means that they are a corrosive product, and for international air travel regulations and shipping regulations, they therefore are classified as hazardous materials. And as such, they incur relatively significant shipping fees associated with that classification. So one of the nice things or benefits of the kind of regulatory environment is that if the product is below a certain volume or weight, then it is considered a non-hazardous product. And that designation is approximately 30 grams or 30 milliliters. So what this means is that you can take a extremely hazardous material and subdivide it into many, many small bottles, and as a result, you can ship that non-hazardous. So that was the impetus for, I would say, the general certified reference material manufacturer industry, was that it was recognized that the products are going to ship hazardous, and so therefore the one way to kind of minimize the costs for our customers and distributors is to offer a smaller bottle. But as I mentioned, we're not the first ones to have done this. So this particular slide just illustrates what I've already stated. There are no hazardous shipping fees for very, very small product bottles. But kind of how did we get to this point? If everybody has known that they can ship non-hazardous for a long period of time, why has Inorganic Ventures waited so long to introduce a comparable product to the market? And the significant reason, or the most basic reason, is that we were waiting on the rollout of our transpiration control technology program, which started in 2015. That is something that we studied for quite some period of time. And the question is then, why did we wait for the TCT program to be implemented before we started with 30 ml bottles. And the reason is that transpiration is a significant physical change in the certified reference material, and it is primarily going to be a function of the temperature of storage of the product, but the bottle size is probably the second most important factor that affects transpiration. So we, through many years of study that started in the early 1990s, recognized that as the bottle became smaller and smaller, the effects of transpiration became far more significant, to the extent that a 30 ml bottle will transpire enough water within about 9 months that essentially the product will be out of specification, meaning that if we were to sell a certified reference material in a 30 ml bottle, once you've packaged that material into the bottle, you've really only got less than 1 year before transpiration was going to compromise the integrity of the product, and it would no longer be within the certified specifications. So the reason we're a bit late to the party, fundamentally, when it comes to processing or packaging in 30 ml containers, is simply due to the fact that we needed to have a mechanism in place for managing the transpiration effect. And as of 2015 for our stock products and 2016 for our custom products, everything we ship now is, with very few exceptions, going to be in a transpiration control technology bag. So at that point, we are well poised to roll out the 30 ml program, and that's essentially kind of the backstory and why it took so long in some respects for Inorganic Ventures to start offering products in 30 ml bottles. So what are some of the advantages, though, that you could think of for a 30 ml bottle? Well, the first one is indicated by the slide is going to be that it's going to ship non-hazardous, so you can save significant fees. But considering the fact that the bottle is very, very small, one of the things that you might try to sell to your customers is that what you can do is you can order a higher concentration in a smaller bottle, save on the shipping fees, and since you're ordering a higher concentration, you can dilute. So this slide would just indicate that a 30 ml bottle of a 1,000 ppm standard, which is our custom grade stock product line, it's very, very common certified reference material, 1,000 parts per million, that what you're actually going to be able to do is you're going to be able to dilute that down and to make 30 liters of a 1 ppm product. Now, a 1 parts per million calibration standard is going to be very typical for ICP applications, even for ion chromatography applications in that regard. So one of the things that you could picture to your customers is that you could order a smaller bottle size at a much higher concentration, save a lot of money on the shipping, and because you're going to be diluting down so significantly to run through your ICP, what you really can do is you can increase the value overall of the product. So the next slide basically is just going to kind of circle back to my earlier comments about the benefits of transpiration control packaging. If it wasn't for this packaging, we would not be selling the products in 30 ml bottles. And unlike some of our competitors that aren't really discussing the transpiration effect, we're very upfront about this, and we want the community and the end user to understand that a bottle that is only 30 milliliters in size is going to essentially transpire so significantly that within about 9 months at approximately 20 to 25 degrees, you will have lost maybe 0.5% to 1% of the mass of the product. Since our products are typically certified with a plus or minus relative uncertainty of 0.5%, then at that 6 to 9 month range, even if you've never opened a 30 ml bottle, the product most likely is out of specification unless you're storing at a refrigerated temperature or something certainly less than 20 degrees Celsius. So the benefits of the TCT packaging not only apply to all of our other products, but they are especially important for the 30 ml bottles, because what you can do is you can basically pitch to your customers that they can purchase a lot of small 30 ml bottles. The shelf life is going to be 3 years for a custom product. It'll be 4 years for a stock product. And you can almost describe them as being one-off or one-use, to some extent, products. The bottle will remain certified. It'll be perfectly stable for several years in the TCT bag. When they need to use it, they open up the bag. At that point, they have 6 months to use the product, but considering it's such a small volume, the expectation is that they'll probably be using it in just 2 to 3 months, if not a faster period of time. So these first 3 or 4 slides, I just wanted to give you a little bit of information about kind of how we got to this point, how important the TCT packaging is for the 30 ml program. And then what I want to do now is we're going to turn this over to Jeff, and he's going to talk a little bit more about some of the other benefits of the 30 ml program, and then we're going to kind of follow up and finish off with some other suggestions and ideas about how you can market this to your customers. So, Jeff, I think you're on deck now.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Sorry, we get ahead here. Okay, so what this slide is showing, and we're kind of entering into some more of the benefits and on the sales side for our distributors joining us today, and how you're reaching your customers with this new product. It's basically, this is a graphic showing how purchasing multiple 30 ml bottles will extend the expiration if roughly the same volume is purchased in one bottle. So if you were to open consecutively 30 ml, these 30 ml bottles upon their expiration, it's showing that you have 2 years of quality assured standards that are immediately available for your customers to use. And of course, due to the TCT packaging, you have up to 4 years to consume on stock and 3 years on customs, but to consume for standard. So really, this gives you the flexibility in the usage, and this would be especially important or attractive to those that are testing consistently, but maybe less often. So they have a lot more flexibility in the time to use that, a similar size volume, and so I think that's an important aspect of our product and really our company. But we want to show that these customers are not forced to use more than, or buy more than they could really use, and that really is the crux of this next slide here. The next benefit, less hazardous waste. So what it's showing, it's really a matter of knowing your customers and their usage level. But the question can be, do you have a problem with disposing of expired standards? I think often there's probably a lab manager focused on cutting costs and cutting waste. So this is an attractive benefit there. The 30 ml bottle allows you to do that. Customers, especially probably with single element standards, they may not use an entire bottle before expiration, and typically, probably on our custom multi-element standards, they're probably using or ordering what they need, but I think this is especially attractive for the single elements. But anyway, with the 30 ml volume, it's small enough basically that the expiration clock shouldn't run out on you, which means no expired standards to dispose of. And then, so where are we at today? What's available? All of our custom multi-element standards are immediately available. You should note there that we have a 2-bottle order minimum on those. So if you're ordering a custom product, you should make sure you have a commitment for 2 30 ml bottles. But again, we do have a 3-year expiration or shelf life while in the TCT bag, and then 6 months expiration after opening the bag. And then on the stock side, we'll be able to deliver all of our 1,000 and 10,000 ppm stock products starting about September 5th next month. We'll be rolling those out for you. So This is kind of especially for you, for the distributors, but to have a heads up and kind of a first look of what you'll be available. And then this note here about some exclusions apply. That basically that refers to excluding our AA standards, our ICALs, organics, anything in the second half of our catalog is not initially going to be offered in 30 mil volume. But yeah, so yeah, I would encourage you to get out there and kind of prepare your customers for what they'll be able to take advantage of on different volume sizes starting next month. And so these next few slides, really I want to review some of the benefits that you should be aware of, whether you're a distributor or you're a user in the lab with Inorganic Ventures in general. But we do have a guarantee. This guarantee, something that distributors especially can relate to your customers, and something I'd say important not to forget. Any type of issue, if there's not satisfied with our standards for any reason, certainly we'd be happy to offer technical support to try to resolve the situation. Something we do often, and Brian's heavily involved in that. But if not, if you need to have a free replacement, we offer that, or a full refund. So basically, you're talking about no risk with our company, and that's something to remember to communicate to your customers. So next slide here, with the competitor pricing, this is just to let you know that we're for the custom standards. You can reduce the cost and extend better pricing by manufacturing them in batches, right? So what we can do is we're trying to make sure that we're offering the best pricing available for your customers. We don't want pricing to be the issue or what hinders you from hopefully getting your foot in the door with a new brand for them, so using a competitive brand. So we want to make sure that this is kind of a tool that you have in your belt to offer, that if you can show us a quote or something from a competitor, especially, you pass that on to our customer service, and they'll happily review that, and we'll match that pricing for you, especially on the first time, a new customer, to give you that competitive advantage. So this is our meet or beat guarantee, we call it. Hopefully you're aware of that, our distributors out there, but if you're not, please take advantage of that. And then here, this is the last slide, and we're just finishing up here as far as the slides of our presentation. But these are the contact emails. This is the information for our distributor care team. And so we formulated a team this past year at Inorganic Ventures to really help you as a distributor with your success. So anything we can do, if you have questions, if you have marketing needs or sales difficulties, these are the 4 contact people that you can have as your first people to talk to, and they'll come back to you, and we'll work with you as best as we can. So yeah, that finishes up this portion. I think if we have any questions, we'd be happy to handle those. Okay, well, I'd say if anything comes up, if you have something that after thinking about some of these issues or further questions, I'd also add that pricing is available for the 30 mil products, and we'll send you a price list for that. So you could please give us shoot us an email, and of course, if you have any further questions, you can contact us by phone or email. Thank you very much.